What is going on, everybody? It's good to have you all here. Welcome to my channel. I am the Distinguished Professor.
Real patriot. He is my friend, and he is my great mentor.
It's good-looking professor.
Hey, I want to say I truly value all of you for being here for another session. And as you can see, we're going to talk about the Kamala Harris rally from last weekend. So without further ado, let's get started. Class is in session. Now, I do have to ask you guys something. I really do. In watching this rally, what is it about Kamala Harris that you guys like? Like, what are her policies? Like, why do you guys like her as a candidate? Because, you know, watching the news, listening to people, watching these videos, it really feels like people are just following like the latest headline, but they're not doing any deep dives. They're just staying in that shallow end of the pool. No one is really asking Kamala any kind of questions, but then again, she's not answering any questions. So that's probably a bigger issue. But I just don't understand the appeal that she has. But again, let's look at the latest rally where, oh my God, clutch my pearls, she presented an actual policy. So Kamala, who hasn't had a policy, has finally presented an actual policy. The very first policy we are hearing from her, and it is no taxes on tips. Again, no taxes on tips. And so when I heard her, I'm sitting here thinking,
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
I said, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
like, I'm sitting there watching, like, hold on, is this not the same exact policy Trump dropped back in July? I mean, it's the exact same. Let's look at it. Let's take a look, because I swear it's the same exact one.
At the center of our plan for economic relief are massive tax cuts for workers that include something else that's turned out to be very popular, actually. Here it's very popular in this building and all those hotels that I saw that are so nice. I'm staying in a nice one. It's called no tax on tips. No tax on tips. No tax on tips.
I know I had heard this before.
I got that by having dinner recently in Nevada, where we're leading by about 14 points. Hello. I'll see you there very soon, everybody. And we're having dinner at a beautiful restaurant in the Trump building on the Strip. And it's a great building. And the waitress comes over. How's everything going? Really nice person. How's everything? Oh, Sarah, it's so tough. The government's after me all the time on tips. I said, well, they give you cash. Would they be able to find him? She said, actually, and I didn't know this. She said, very little cash is given. It's all put right on the check. And they come in and they take so much of our money. It's just ridiculous. And they don't believe anything we say. And they've just hired, as you know, 88,000 agents to go after him even more.
And if you guys don't know, yeah, Biden made sure that he hired additional agents to make sure they go back and get that STEMI money that President Trump passed. So he did hire a bunch of people going to get people who haven't paid taxes in a while and things of that sort. So that's what he's talking about.
And I said, this shows the level of my, most people go out, they hire consultants, they pay millions of dollars. But I said to her, let me just ask you a question. Would you be happy if you had no tax on tips? She said, what a great idea. I got my information from a very smart waitress. That's better than spending millions of dollars.
And it is my promise to everyone here, when I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America. Including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Wait a damn minute.
I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
So, I mean, so this is actually why it's so important for our people, for people in general, to be an informed voter. You got to pay attention, because here's the thing: if you didn't know Trump did that, if you didn't know Trump had said that speech back in July, you would think this is brand new information. You'd be like, oh my God, Kamala has this great policy on no tax on tips, not knowing where she got it from. You know, I mean, Copycat Kamala is what I'm going to start calling her. I mean, she couldn't even use Chat GPT to get an alternate phrasing of it. Like, you use the exact same phrasing that Trump used. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's next for her campaign. Is she going to start selling red hats to say make tips great again? Is she gonna put on a Trump wig over that hat, under that hat? So we're gonna start selling Trump wigs, put Trump wig on and say make tips great again. I mean, this is crazy. You know, this whole thing reminds me, you know, taking on the moniker of the professor, being in school, things of that sort. It reminds me of of a kid in class. You know, we all had that D student. You know, the one who's always copying off the A students' paperwork, their homework. And let's be frank, let's be honest. It's usually the D students who are the class clowns, right? I know I was one at one point. So, I mean, they're really not doing the work. They're cracking jokes. They're trying to keep you entertained. So you don't notice they really have nothing to say. They really have nothing new to say. They have nothing to say. They're just cracking jokes because you know why? They're D students. They don't understand. Now let me get it clear. I'm not calling Kamala Harris a D student when it comes to education. I'm calling her a D student when it comes to the politics, the policies, the presidential race that she's running. Like, she's a D student right now. She's stealing policies. You know, she's trying to keep you entertained. I mean, Kamala's move here, it feels like she's watching Trump's paper. She's copying it. She's copying all the answers. She's putting on like a low performance to distract us. I mean, this is basically the political version of that scene from Working Girl. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Working Girl. Has Melanie Griffith, Sigourney Weaver, some other people in it. But basically, Sigourney Weaver's character steals the idea from Melanie Griffith's character and walks around and takes credit for it. Matter of fact, Stevie Wonder said, seeing is believing. So let me, I can show you better than I can tell you. Give me 1 second to pull that up for you guys, and I will show it to you guys. One moment. Here it is. Watch this.
You're on.
See, this is Forbes. It's just your basic article about how you were looking to expand into broadcasting, right? Okay, now, the same day, I'll never forget this. I'm reading page 6 of the Post, and there's this item on Bobby Stein, the radio talk show guy who does all those gross jokes about Ethiopia and the Betty Ford Center. Well, anyway, he's hosting this charity auction that night, Real Blue Bloods, and won't that be funny? Now I turn the page to Susie, who does the society stuff, and there's this picture of your daughter. See, nice picture. And she's helping to organize the charity ball. So I started to think, Trask Radio. And then I hooked up with Jack, and he came on board with Metro, and so now here we are.
Fair use.
Oren, we really don't have any more time for fairy tales.
Well, Miss Parker, let me ask you a question. How did you come up with the idea for Trask to buy up Metro?
How did I, well, let's see, the
impulse. What led you to put the two together?
Well, you know, I would have to check my files. I can't recall exactly the,
Well, generally. It's not as if it was in the mainstream.
You know, it would have to be the, Jack, help me out here. Oren, I beg your pardon, but if you are insinuating...
Miss Parker, if I were you, I'd go to your office and take a long last look around. Because in about 5 minutes, I'm going to see to it that you get the boot, but good.
Oren, this is a simple misunderstanding, and you cannot.
I can and I will. Now get your, what did you call it?
Bony ass.
Right. Bony ass out of my sight.
And that's what we need to be saying. Hey, Kamala, get your bony ass out of our sights. Like, bring some, at least until you bring some policies back. But like I said, she's a D student. She is a D student, and you know she likes D. You can act sweet D Willie about that. I'm just kidding, but no, like she's a D student. She's still in policies from the other candidate. She is she's trying to keep you guys entertained with concerts. Megan and Quavo, you know, she walks it like we talks it. You know, she got that little Southern accent. I don't know where that little Southern black accent came from. You know, and listen. How many people you guys know are cooking, washing collard greens in the bathtub? Come on now, come on, man. But no, she's a D student. The thing is, she's just people are not informed and don't know she's just out here remixing Trump's ideas. That's all she's doing. She's just a remixer. And let me think, who is the king of remixes? Who is I invented the remix? That's right. P. Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop. Kamala is the P. Diddy of politics right now. That's what we need to call her. The P. Diddy of politics. That's what Kamala is right now. I can just picture her and Tampon Tim at their next rally, all hyped up like, take that. You know, while Trump's in the background humming the original tune, giving out the original policies, you know, and they're just in the back dancing, all up in the video. And Trump's like, hey, where are my royalties? Like, why am I not getting royalties from this? You know, it's just funny. I can imagine them just doing it. Something like this, right? Let me mute this real quick. But that look, there go Kamala and Tampon Tim just back there dancing. Trump's giving out his policies. This the rally, right? Let's look at him. Take that. Take that. So at your next rally, this is what your D student's going to be doing. You know, Trump's gonna be up there giving policies. This how it's gonna be in the debate. Trump's gonna be giving policies, and she gonna be up there dancing. You know, things that sort. And Trump's like, what in the world? let me take this off. Give me 1 second. But that's exactly what it is. That's what's going on. But seriously though, let's get back to being serious. What is the end game here? What is the end game? Are we talking about real policies that will actually benefit people, or are we just remixing Trump's ideas and Megan Thee Stallion's ass to keep the crowd entertained? Like, what are we doing? What really are we doing? What Kamala's doing, this is the very thing that Malcolm X reminded us of and spoke about in his famous speech, The Ballot versus Bullet. He warned us that we will be manipulated by politicians who only seek our seek our votes without delivering real progress. That's all she's doing. Like, she is not presenting any policies whatsoever. And that's what's frustrating. And that's what I'm taking issue with this. She's not presenting any policies, and people are just leaning towards her way. And like I said, if they had I not shown that video about Trump, who would know that Trump said that? They would think that's Kamala's. Like, let's pull up Kamala, the P. Diddy of politics, Kopykat Kamala. Let's pull up her website and see what it is she has to talk about. What are her other policies? Let me pull that up real quick. Let's see. I see, $25, $250, $47, $45, $47. Like, I see the donation piece. I see donates big. I see donate here. I mean, this website, I'm looking at it. Like, this is like one of them GoDaddy websites tonight type websites. This is a terrible website. Like, her whole campaign is janky. Like, is Mike Epps and Ice Cube running this running this campaign? Because this is a janky production. Shout out to Ice Cube and Mike Epps. I like that movie, Janky Productions. But no, I mean, I'm looking at it, going down, right? Let's win this. I'm still suspect about Tim Walz. I think he got a little sugar, but we're gonna talk about that. But no, look, the store, donate by mail, FAQs, work with us, your privacy rights. Like there's nothing here. You can donate by mail. Like look, just how you donate. Give the money there. Donate by mail. Donate. They're gonna take all your money. PayPal, pay with card, Google Pay, Venmo, EBT, Snap, IOU. They're gonna take whatever they can get. And this is crazy. Like there's nothing here that talks about her policies. Zero. So I have to continue to wonder, what is it she stands for? Like, why are we looking to vote for this lady? I mean, under me, there's nothing there. Take action events. You know, she's a D student. She gets the D. She's a Democrat, and she wants you to donate. She's a triple D. You know. Let's look at Trump's real quick. Let me pull up Trump's website. Give me 1 second. Again, we're doing this in real time, man. Let's look at this real quick. Let's pull up Trump's campaign here. Look at that. Trump. This is Trump's website. Contribute, shop. So he has the same thing, right? You can contribute, aka donate, right? But he has the very first tab. Is platform. That's his very first tab. Platform. And let's go through these. Let's see how many there's. I mean, if it's the X button, there are 20 in his platform. I'm going to read every single one. Bear with me. So the first one is seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. You know, the Biden-Harris administration said that they were not going to build an inch, an ounce, whatever it was of new border wall, and they haven't. Matter of fact, they let people in. They will let people in. So you got to seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. I have no issues with migrants whatsoever, but as long as they're doing it the correct way. There are people who've come over to this country, you know, they either gone through Ellis Island or whatever, and had to, you know, work and become a citizen. They did it the right way, not just, hey, let's open the floodgate to let every country just pour their trash, and not everyone that comes through. But I'm talking about the crooks, the criminals, the cartel people that are coming through, the people who want to traffic people in general. That's the trash I'm talking about. You know, because America's what found out, give me your poor, your huddled masses. Like, we're a country of immigrants, and our country is great, and it's a melting pot because we allow immigrants in. But you have to go about it the right way. Number 2, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. I think Obama's administration had the largest deportation, and Trump wants to carry out the largest one, bigger than his. He wants to end inflation and make America affordable again. How many of you guys can't, you know, we got people out there who can't afford to get groceries, because you get 3 bags of groceries, that's $100. You know, so people out there can't afford to put food on the table, can't afford to put gas in their car to go to work, right? Their salaries are not rising, so they can't afford. I mean, they got to go to work, but they can't even. The work they're doing is not affording them any kind of lifestyle. They can't live. They can't pay for rent because guess what? Inflation is high, so they can't pay for rent. How hard is it to come up with three times the rent? You know, make 3 times the rent, and then you got to put first a security, first and last month. You know, you talk about a grand in rent, to put first and last, that's $2,000. Security, that's another grand, so that's 3, right? And then you got to have the prorated rent for when you move in. You know, inflation is kicking a lot of people in the butt. Make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. Stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. At one point, you know, we talk about steel and things of that sort. Like, America was a superpower. That's why people in like Detroit and Cleveland, the middle parts of America, the backbone, the heartbeat of America, even in North Carolina where it was textiles, those people had jobs because America took care of themselves first. We made America great again. They took care of themselves. People took pride in buying something that said made in America. But we outsourced to save $1. And that's why those tariffs that Trump passed were important, because it brought business back to the United States. This is why unemployment was low under him, because he was bringing jobs back to the United States. Large tax cuts for workers. No tax cuts on tips. We know Kamala can at least put that one on her website, right? No tax on tips. Defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and the Middle East. He wants to put a great iron dome over the United States. That's more like a something you put in space, from what I understand. But look into that. End the weaponization of government against the American people. Stop the migrant crime epidemic. Demolish the foreign drug cartels. Crush gang violence and lock up violent offenders. That goes back to sending people back, because the migrant crisis they're sending people, like I said earlier, across the border that shouldn't be here. Like when Castro dumped everybody when they did the Mariel boat lift back in the 80s, and he dumped basically opened his jails up and let everybody out and sent them to the United States, sent them to Florida. Rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. D.C., San Francisco, certain cities around the country are dumps. And guess what? Sort of off topic, Black people, let's get together and be the people to clean these cities up. Let's get those government contracts. Let's make that our thing. Like, if we want an industry, let's be the people who pick up the trash. If that's the case, not saying that's all we can do, but let's have an industry. Let's be the ones that control that. Because I know when the Hispanic people, when the Latin community gets upset, like I think down in Florida when DeSantis tried to pass something, they said, no, we're not working. So ain't no houses getting built, ain't no construction being done, nothing. They literally shut down Florida. Like, no, we're not gonna work. We're not gonna work. But we don't have that power. When we had that power during the bus boycott, when people would walk miles to work, when people would carpool, when Black buses came together, that forced the bus systems to change their rules and policies. We used to have that power, and we've given it away. We need to get that back. Keep the U.S. dollar. Strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world. That's why we're safe, because we're the most powerful military in the world. Keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. If the petrodollar goes away, what happens to the U.S. dollar? We have to keep the petrodollar in order. And that's the petrodollar is basically, for those who don't know, the U.S. dollar is what upholds or how oil is transferred in the world. So everything is transferred in the oil game by the U.S. dollar. That's why they call it the petrodollar. So with that being said, you want to keep that as the world currency, because if we lose that, that's big. Fight for and protect Social Security, Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to retirement age. Cancel the EV mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations. Hey, I love EVs, but they're a pain in the butt when you're trying to take a road trip. So I need a gas vehicle. And an EV. Cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race, CRT, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, and political content on our children. We have to stop teaching our kids these things. Like, teach them science, technology, engineering, and math. Teach them English. But don't push agendas on our kids, because we all know kids are impressionable and kids are imaginatory. They imagine a lot of things. That's why they're imaginary friends. That's why they can go play by themselves. That's why they can go have tea parties by themselves. Shoot, when I was a kid, I used to throw a baseball up against a wall and have a whole baseball game. Strikeouts, home runs, the whole nine. I would take a hanger and a sock or some tape, more so than it was like a bunch of socks, and play basketball in my kitchen, because we didn't have no Nerf basketball goals. We wasn't afford. We wasn't paying for those. My mom couldn't afford that at the time, so we took a wire hanger, stretched it out, and shot baskets in that thing. I know some of you guys can relate to that, right? And you played a whole game like that. You played whole 4 quarters, timeouts, the whole nine. Because we're imaginatory. We imagine things. I had a Nintendo, I had a Sega, but those were times it was fun. I had a buddy of mine. We used to play a whole game in his kitchen with socks and a wire hanger stuck in the door. So these are the types of things. That's what kids need to be doing. But you don't need to be learning these types of ideologies in school, especially elementary primary school things that so primary school, elementary, middle school, high school. He wants to keep men out of women's sports. That's a no-brainer. No need to go down that road. 18, deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. I'm all for that. We shouldn't have people in certain districts voting who are not even alive. If there's 4,000 people in the county, why is there 9,000 people voting? That doesn't make any sense. 4,000 registered voters and 9,000 voting. That makes no sense, right? Dead people voting. That has been a thing. I can pull up the information. I'm not, but go do your research. And lastly, number 20, unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. And it looks like my camera went out. Sorry about that. But that's what he wants to do. So that's what we need. Man, I'm out here presenting content so good. My daggone camera went out. I can't believe it. But no, again, we're just looking at Agenda 47, man. We're just going through this list. And if you didn't see it, I will go back through it real quick. I won't go say everything, but I'll just go back through it so you can look at it. Yeah, look at that. Again, you're going back to this. We're going back to the website. Platform is the number one on it. And you can, like I said, you can also contribute. I talked about that earlier, but yeah, I mean, these are his 20 policies. This is what he's standing on. So again, let me apologize for the camera going out, as well as if you was not seeing the right pages. I apologize about that. But look at that. There we go. So this is what I'm saying, man. And let me say something. For those of you, actually, I'll get to that in a minute. But that's at least he has policies that he stands for. At least those are things that I can look at that he stands for. But I'm so and watching, like I said before, watching a lot of videos. I'm just getting tired of dudes out here just pandering to the women, the downing men who are for Trump. Why? Why? Like, what is your problem with us? Like, these dudes are saying things about men who are for Trump because you know what? They're too damn lazy to look at the actual facts. Yeah, I'm calling you out. You guys are too damn lazy to look at the facts. You want to sit here and cape for women. You're too damn lazy to see the actual facts. You listen to BS rhetoric. You're not even understanding the very first policy this woman's. You're not understanding the very first policy this woman is pushing, and the fact that she stole that first policy. Now, I always say the thing. Picasso once said, "A good artist copies and a great artist steals." Right, and that's exactly what she's doing. She's stealing from the one man in the last 24 years that led this country effectively. I'm gonna say it again. This one man in the 4 years led this country more effectively than any president in the last 24 years. So if you want to vote for someone who steals policies, stands for nothing, she stands for the deletion of babies in the womb, which has resulted in about 20 million black people not having an opportunity to walk this great planet we live on, then go right ahead and continue to do your cape and cape for her all day long. And for those of you like, well, Trump wants to, take over my body. He wants to say what a woman as a woman can do with my body. No, that's not it. As a matter of fact, let's pull that up because y'all talk about he wants to ban abortion. And that's not what he wants. He wants that to be left up to the states. He thinks that's a state right, not a government right. And I want to see if I can find that real quick to show you that that's not even true. What does that say? Trump declines to back a nationwide abortion ban, said it should be left to the states. This is NPR. So it's not some BS. It's a trusted source, NPR. So what's your next thing? So he wants it to be left up to the states. And I don't know about you guys, but I want the federal government intervening in my life the least amount possible. That's what I want. So it's it's, again, I have to go back to facts over feelings. But I'm gonna end this. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think Kamala really stands for? Why does she resonate with you guys? What can you tell me that you like about her without mentioning her being a woman, not being Trump, or because she's Black and Asian? Again, why can you tell me you like her, or what can you tell me you like about her without mentioning Trump, that she's Asian or Black, Asian and Black, that she's a woman, and then like I said, she's not Trump. Like, explain to me, what is it about her that you like? I'm definitely eager to hear you guys' thoughts, know you guys' thoughts. But again, like I said, I'm going to end it here. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And of course, make sure you tap that notification bell so you're not targeted to the next class. Again, I am the Distinguished Professor. Class dismissed.